This is the ECOVACS DEEBOT X9 Pro Omni. It is the first robot cleaner I have used that actually took pet hair off my daily to-do list without me hovering over it. It sits in that robot vacuum and mop category, the kind with a base station that cleans and maintains the robot for you. I see it fitting best in homes with mixed floors, especially hardwood and area rugs, and for anyone who wants cleaner floors without adding another chore to manage. If you live with a shedding pet or you have dark floors that show every speck of dust, that is where this shines. Design matters in day-to-day use, and this one looks calm and understated. The base is finished in black with clean lines. It is not tiny, so you will need a spot along a wall with a power outlet, but it is less bulky than I expected, and the proportions help it blend into a living room. Picking it up is not a struggle. The base and robot together are just over 27 pounds, which gives it a solid feel without being a burden to move when you are reorganizing. The robot itself has a low profile that slides under my sofa and coffee table. The side brushes reach out far enough to pull dust from along baseboards and into the cleaning path, which sounds small, but it really reduces how often I need to edge clean by hand. The only design nitpick for me is the water tanks inside the base. They work well, but they are not as big or as visually obvious as some other stations I have used. I wish the water levels were easier to see at a glance. Getting started is the part that usually turns people off, but the setup here is straightforward. I placed the base, filled the clean water tank, seated the dust bag, and scanned a quick response code to link the robot to the ECOVACS application. Connecting to my wireless internet took one try, and the initial charge and map run were simple. The first map of my main floor took under 20 minutes. The robot did a fast scan, labeled rooms, and let me combine and split spaces right in the application. I named zones like kitchen, living room, entryway, and I was able to set a schedule that hits high traffic areas every day and saves less used rooms for later in the week. Responsiveness has been reliable. If I send it to the kitchen from my phone, it leaves the dock within seconds and heads straight there without wandering. What makes or breaks a product like this is the core cleaning performance. On hardwood, it picks up fine dust and grit that makes floors look cloudy in sunlight, and it does it in a single pass most of the time. I scattered coffee grounds, bits of kibble, and flour to see where it would struggle. The flour is the usual robot weakness, but the combination of suction and the rolling brush got most of it on the first go and everything on the second. The mopping system is the part that changed my routine. Instead of dragging around a damp pad that gets dirtier as it goes, this one rinses and scrubs its mop during the job, then returns to the floor with clean pads. That means the kitchen does not end up smelling like a wet rag, and I do not see that hazy streaking that cheaper mops leave on dark wood. My floors are dry to the touch within minutes and there is no sticky residue. On rugs, it recognizes carpet quickly and lifts the mop so it does not wet textiles. That lift happens fast enough that my area rugs have stayed dry, even along edges where many robots hesitate. The brush design has lived up to the promise. The ZeroTangle 3.0 system sounded like a slogan, but I have not had to cut hair out of the roller once in 6 weeks, and I have a dog that sheds like a champion. I still pop the cover and check every few days out of habit, and there has been almost nothing wrapped around the brush or axles. Noise is another quiet win. When it is vacuuming on my main floor and I am working in the next room, the sound is a soft hum instead of that harsh vacuum whine. I can take calls without feeling like I need to pause the run. Even at the stronger suction setting, it stays in that white noise zone. The base station is louder when it empties the dust and washes the mop, but those bursts are short. I pushed it with some real messes. After a rainy walk, the dog tracked in fine grit and a few tiny pebbles that always fall by the back door. I sent the robot to the entryway zone. It avoided the wet dog leash, navigated around a pair of shoes, and cleared the grit on the first pass. In the kitchen, I let breadcrumbs and rice build up under the dining chairs. The robot got between chair legs more gracefully than most, and when it ran into a crossbar that was too low, it backed out and reapproached from a better angle rather than getting stuck. The only time it stumbled was when my dog dragged in a thin stick from the yard. It wedged in the brush and the robot asked for help, which is fair. I removed the stick and it carried on like nothing happened. My main use case is a daily clean of the kitchen and living room while I am at my desk. I have it scheduled mid-morning, and if I forget and walk into the kitchen during a run, I can tap pause on the top of the robot to grab water, then tap again, and it resumes without confusion. Before guests arrive, I run a quick zone clean around the sofa and coffee table to get the crumbs. If there is a spill, the application makes it easy to drag a box over the dirty area on the map and send it there immediately. I have also carried it upstairs to make a second map. It handled that fine, and it now remembers both floors. The base station stays downstairs, so when I want to clean upstairs, I carry the robot up, let it run, and then bring it back to the base to empty and wash. Not fully automatic across floors, but workable. There are a few smart touches that actually make daily life easier. The obstacle avoidance uses a camera and three-dimensional sensors to spot cords and socks. It gives them space instead of plowing through, which means fewer rescue missions. The base station does 3 big jobs on its own. It empties the dust into a sealed bag, it rinses and scrubs the mop pads with clean water, and it dries the pads with hot air so they do not smell. The drying step matters more than I expected. I have had robots that left damp pads sitting in the dock and they ended up smelling musty. Here, the pads come out dry and clean. I changed the dust bag once after a little over a month, and I refill the clean water and empty the dirty water every 3 or 4 days, depending on how many extra runs I do. I wish the water tanks were a bit larger or at least clearer to read at a glance, but it is a quick task. Voice guidance is a mixed bag. The robot announces status changes in a friendly tone, which is helpful the first week. After that, I turned the volume down because it felt too chatty. Notifications on the phone do the job just as well. Reliability has been solid. It docks consistently, it keeps a stable map, and it follows schedules without missing a day. Battery life has not been something I have had to think about, because it returns to charge and resumes if a job is too large for a single run. The important thing is that floors look clean. The base station handling the dirty work means I am not emptying a dusty bin or rinsing a filthy pad every day, which is usually where robot mops fall apart for busy people. I want to be transparent about limitations. The base station takes up more space than a simple charging puck, so measure your spot before you commit. The water tanks could be bigger. Very large or awkward debris, like that yardstick, can still cause a pause. And while it is good with obstacles, low-clearance furniture can occasionally confuse it on the first pass. None of these were deal breakers for me, but they are worth knowing. After living with it, I see this as a strong fit if you care about clean floors but do not want to babysit a gadget. Pet owners will appreciate the hair handling and the mop that actually keeps itself clean. People with a mix of hard floors and area rugs will benefit from the quick carpet recognition and mop lift. If you prefer to set routines and let them run, the combination of mapping, zone cleaning, and the base station's maintenance loop lines up with that lifestyle. If you enjoy tinkering or you want the smallest possible dock, this might not be your match. That is my real experience with the ECOVACS DEEBOT X9 Pro Omni. It reduced my daily floor maintenance. It kept up with my dog, and it did it without asking me for attention every day. If you want more details or you have questions about a specific scenario in your home, drop a comment below. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next one. Thank you for watching.